I know that general managers are very concerned about the character of the players they take.
You can read the paper every day about someone that makes poor decisions.
The NFL, in fact, no longer allowing players with convictions for domestic violence, sexual assault, or a weapons offense to attend the scouting combine.
A vast majority of it has to do with marijuana.
They're going to play the football game without it.
In some cases, violence against women.
Don't be that guy.
In other cases, firearms.
When you do stuff like that, you let your teammates down.
They could actually cause trouble to their team and their teammates. So.
You got to think with this incident that it's going to hurt a little bit in his draft stock.
That particular day or the next day, it's out there. And somebody's going to see it, and they won't forget it.
Can you be dependable? Can you be relied on? That's the kind of doubt you don't want to put in the minds of the decision makers in the NFL.
Has left a great opportunity slip through their hands. And then they think, well, it'll be okay, I'll get it back. But you know what? It doesn't get back.
I know why guys do stupid things like getting in trouble, doing drugs.
Want second chances and thirds and all that.
The rule of stupids is still in play here. The rule of stupids is don't do stupid things in stupid places, at stupid times, around stupid people.
5 of these kids, 6 of these kids do not spoil the whole bunch.
He does things the right way. I don't worry about him getting in trouble.
Change your mind or the minds of anybody you've spoken to in the NFL?
Even in college, it puts their future at risk.
He was probably just the perfect pupil, if you will, from all the things.
Well, there's no red flags in any way with Emmanuel, and yet he still has done so many great things.
And we ask one important thing, how do you want to be viewed by NFL personnel?
That name in the back of the jersey belongs to your parents, and you don't screw it up.
I don't know why people do those things.
At some point, it stops.
My name is Emmanuel Ogbah, and everything I do is part of my dream investment. I want to take this opportunity to thank God for what He has done in my life and given me the ability to play this great sport. Attending OSU and being a part of the football program has been a blessing for me and my family. I am very humbled to be in the position I am in today. To my teammates and to all the unbelievable fans that supported us each and every day, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have learned so much from being a part of this prestigious university. Oklahoma State will always be my home, and I promise to represent our university with respect, class, character, and dignity. I have grown into a great man, and I'm prepared for what lies ahead. Thank you so much for everything. I'm excited for what the future holds. I love you all, and will always bleed orange. Go Post.
Gets the snap, back to pass, under pressure, and he's sacked! Eaten alive by Emmanuel Ogbah! Takes a snap, back to pass, hit in the backfield, and he's sacked! Back at the 18-yard line, Emmanuel Ogbah. Winston in the shotgun, takes a snap, fakes a handoff, he's hit, and he is drilled down at the 26-yard line by Emmanuel Ogbah.
Going into the 2016 NFL Draft, the defensive end position is dominant. And with a growing trend of talented edge rushers making an impact in the NFL, teams will be looking for players who have speed, who have power, and who have the right character.
That's what I do! That's what I do!
For some, it's too late. Their red flags are already out in the open. For others, red flags don't exist. Their record is clean, already giving them an advantage when teams choose who they want to make the face of their organization. But becoming a part of that organization isn't just a decision, it's a process. And for Emmanuel Ogbah, that process begins in Miami.
In Miami, we got the Palm Beach, we got the palm trees. It's a whole different world and whole different environment, whole different setting. The whole difference is we're in Miami.
We're very proud of the fact that we feel like we are the ultimate bridge to the NFL. And it's not just, training hard and doing good medical and all that. It's a combination of how to carry yourself like the ultimate professional.
I came to Pete and checked out this facility, and I just felt like this would be a better fit for me.
Set, switch, go. Stop.
I told Pete that I would like to train here so I can train with the best and compete with the best, because that's the only way you can get better if you play the best. If you're the best where you go, then you can't get no better than what you already are.
The whole story behind this, I actually didn't pick this camp. Pete actually called me to come down, and I came down and took a visit, and he was like, I just want you to know I enjoy you coming here. Without my decision, he was like, just come in Monday, start working, and ever since that, I've been here.
Here we go. God! Set! Run! Go!
Taking pictures of me.
Bob Marito is the best speed coach in the country.
Get this thing out of my lip.
Switch! Go! Stop! Good. Dylan. Am. Blue. Big toe.
All in, come on, get up there.
I think he bipolar. 1 minute he'll be happy.
Perfect.
Next minute he'll be cussing us out and pushing us hard.
Guys, everybody stop.
Next minute he'll be happy, so it's just type of day he's having.
You come off that star, that's why we're here.
These are long days, and it's a grueling process. Very difficult, because at the end of the day, you look at my day, and he's here at 6:30 a.m. He might not get done till 5 or 6 p.m. He's just wrecked.
Oh yeah, Pete has us get up around 6:15, 6:30 in the morning, so we could get there, get to the facility on time, and also that's the downtime just to relax.
I mean, we're not going to train all day, but he's got 3 to 4 hardcore training sessions that are separated by a lot of medical, and as I said, our medical systems require a lot of mental energy.
You have either medical tests, you have interview questions with coaches, or you have other medical attention that you have to get done before that day gets started.
On the other side of things is interview preparation. Obviously these guys have studied film in college, they're familiar with their defense and offense and everything, and they're going to be asked these questions at the combine. But many times it's just a form of expression. There's a lot of times people know what they're doing on a football field, but they may not be able to articulate exactly how they want. And we ask one important thing, how do you want to be viewed by NFL personnel, and necessarily how you think you are now, and how they think they are viewed and how they think they articulate it sometimes is not what we see.
He does that to make us adapt to the style of the combine.
They can get better. It's a trainable effect to be able to speak what you're thinking, training, medical, and nutrition. So I think it's a combination of everything.
Ogbah not only had the choice in where he wanted to train, but by whom he wanted to be represented. A choice influenced by his family.
Okay, so it's funny thing. So we met at Wingstop. Okay, so my dad told me, him and my mom were looking at me. So, what do you think? Like, which one are we going for? I froze there for a minute because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to make this big decision. So I kind of froze down. Like, Mom, Dad, I think we should go to Rosenhaus. I mean, they've been there the longest. They've come visited my parents a lot. So I decided to go to Rosenhaus.
There were a lot of agents that wanted him. Pretty much every top agent was after him. It was very competitive. And, I'm just glad that we were fortunate enough to be selected.
It's a hard decision, but I'm glad I chose the agent I chose now.
All of our clients are unique in their own ways, and what makes Emmanuel unique is his personality. He's very humble, down to earth. He's always got a smile on his face. You'll never get a complaint out of him. He loves to work. He just does everything, the right way. He's very coachable. You know, he's just been an absolute pleasure.
Actually, I know him when he signed with Drew Rosenhaus, because I signed with Drew Rosenhaus. I mean, he's a hard worker. He's self-motivated. He actually motivates me, because I see him going so hard, it makes me want to go hard. We're always competing, you know. We try to get each other better, and, you know, we try to, you know, exceed our potential and further reaching the next level.
You know, Emmanuel he's really the prototype rookie, the prototype client. You know, he's really just an awesome guy, and he's given me a lot to work with. And I'm very proud of him, very impressed with him, and very confident that he's going to be successful. You know, if you were to draw up a client, a dream client, it would be Emmanuel.
Go!
You know, I'm out here at the training facility watching him on a regular basis, and he's a very rare athlete. He's got freakish athleticism.
You know, we're on, and I don't care if we're just doing a warm-up stretch, we're doing a technique training drill, we're doing a technical drill, or doing an application full-speed run. I mean, he goes into every rep like it's the last play of the Super Bowl. It's not just about working hard. You know, everybody works hard. You're not going to be at the level he's at. No question. You know, I mean, people pick and choose different things they work hard at, whether it's nutrition or weight room or just the football specifics itself. But he works hard at everything, which is good. So you need a mentality and a gift of blankness to be able to block everything out and just zone in on what is being coached and what the task at hand, the rep in front of you. Not thinking down the road that I got to run this time, because people get confused. And all the great ones have that training mentality, and he's definitely got it.
There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, especially this process. I feel like I'm very focused because I have a goal in my mind that I'm trying to accomplish. So that comes first before anything else. So.
He does things the right way. I don't worry about him getting in trouble. He's a serious student. What I'm impressed with is he's just as determined to get his degree and be a good student as he is to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging because he should just be going home, eating his snack, eating his dinner, eating his snack, and going to bed. But the fact that he's taking upon himself to continue to better himself even academically is tremendous. And it takes a lot of self-discipline, and I'm very proud of him for that.
I'm very proud that he's continuing his education, and that's not easy, you know, to get ready for the NFL and continue to stay in school, and he's done that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's very stressful, but I'm pushing it. I'm doing my best, you know, I'm trying hard, I'm focused on school. I want that degree so bad, so that's what's pushing me. I mean, I've had doubters, people say, hey, it's never been done before, you know, you're pushing it, you can't train all this much, you can't have all this thing going for you, and you're still taking classes, but I have a goal to graduate, and I'm trying to get to that goal, so that's why I'm working my tail off to do that. Also, having all this homework I have to do every time I get back, I'm so tired, so I just try to manage my time, try to spread it all out, try to get it done early before it's due, so I will have time to relax. See, living here, I haven't been out here before. This is actually the first time I've actually been down here. You see all this? This is the first time I'm actually seeing all this. I'm actually walking on this sand because I'm always busy either training or doing homework. So
get him prepared for the process at the combine, which is, you know, the physical that takes place, the interviews with the teams, the defensive line drills. He's worked with an NFL defensive line coach for many years named Ray Hamilton.
Coach Hamilton, so he really helped us out during the interview prep questions because he's been in that room, so he knows what to ask rookies or the draftable players, you know, the questions he's going to ask them, so he kind of goes through that with us and just coaches us how to answer those questions. We have that one-on-one that I wouldn't get at OSU, you know. Getting them ready for the next season, I want to be able to focus on myself and getting me ready for the combine because we have different goals right now.
He's an extraordinary athlete. I expect his 40 and his defensive line drills and all of his agilities are going to be off the chart.
I have a feeling I can do it. And I try to break records, that's who I am. So I have a feeling. I have it in me, I just have to bring it out.
You know, we'll see how he compares to the rest of the defensive line crop in this year's draft. I mean, it's an outstanding position in this year's draft class. in terms of the talent, the sheer volume of talent. There's a lot of big hitters he's going up against. So I expect him to test well. We'll see how he does with regards to everybody else. I mean, I keep telling him, don't focus on the times, don't focus on the numbers. I just tell him to focus on the rep in front of you, and the time's going to be where it needs to be. That's the most important thing. If there's anybody that has the capability of running an eye-opening time, it's him.
What do you say to the doubters?
Just watch and see. Watch.
The NFL Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana, open to only the best players in the country. These simple tests of raw skills will shape the future for these students.
Whew, real feeling, just getting ready for this combine. Kind of nervous, kind of excited, just can't wait to get out there, People think I run a 4.8, the only time I've never run a 4.8 in my life. And I can't wait to prove them wrong. And I want to run this 4.5, I told myself I was gonna run the 4.5 at the combine, and I gotta do it, just getting ready right now, just preparing mentally. I gotta get through my warm-ups, and gotta remember all this stuff, just getting ready to get at it, and just, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna run that 4.5, which they say I can't run. I'm gonna prove them wrong and run it. Whew, wish me luck.
Ogbah ran the 40-yard dash in 4.63 seconds, or so the TV monitor says.
Yeah, the time the TV was actually off, I actually ran a 4.5 in the 4.5, so I'm really grateful for that, but everybody goes by the TV times. I felt like I was gonna get out there and just run my hardest, and I felt like my life depended on it, like somebody's chasing me, so I just felt like I had to get out there and get to that finish line before somebody can get me.
Ogbah's combination of power and quickness make him a rare breed, but it's his reputation that makes him stand alone.
I think the NFL is looking hard on character and values. I had a lot of positive feedbacks from teams about my interview. I would say that was one of my best attributes at the combine because teams actually dig into that. The interviews is one of the process in drafting guys. If you could test well, you could interview well, you're already on top of their draft boards. It definitely made it easier for me because a lot of guys had a lot of troubled background, had some either substance abuse or problems in the past. So my interview went smoothly because all they cared about was my football IQ and stuff like that because I didn't have any criminal or thing background.
It was on a Sunday. And as a pastor, we had to go to church, one. And secondly, even if we go to the combine, we were told that we won't be able to enter into the place. So, but that day, that very hour, we were in the church. My phone was ringing out of hook inside the church. So, immediately after the service, I looked at it. Somebody was screaming, I can't believe it. Emmanuel ran 40 yards in 4.62 seconds. Yeah, somebody of that size. I said, well, I know he could run that.
Ogbah developed that athleticism playing soccer and running track while growing up in Nigeria.
We arrived here 27th April 2004.
The Ogbahs made the 6,500-mile journey from Nigeria to start a new life in Houston, Texas.
And it was very difficult, but I was actually glad to come to a new country. I was a little kid, so I seen all these cool places and seeing traffic light. I've never seen a traffic light before, so that was a pretty cool experience for me.
He visited here when we were still over there in Nigeria. So when he came back, he told me, and he said he liked the place, and it would be good for us to relocate. So he started the process. So I just found myself here. He did.
My family, I know, they don't like cold places. And Houston is a place that kind of have a close environment to what we experienced back home in Nigeria. So that was what, informed our decision coming to Houston.
Well, Mom and Dad, wow, they're an inspiration to my life. Coming from Nigeria, they've been working their tails off to bring us here, and it's a blessing to have them in my life.
Okay, look at him with
Yeah, see faith here.
sibling.
Oh
If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, it helps, you know, to have a support system like my family.
Another part of his support system is his faith.
Father's an incredibly hardworking guy and is also a pastor and a great family man.
A lot of people have asked us this question. How did we bring this young man up this way? It's not only him, all our children, they are like that. You know, the Bible says, bring up the child the way he should go. When he grows up, he will not depart from it.
You know, just keep faith, you know, having faith in God is everything to me. You know, I'm just working hard as I can, also believing in him that he knows what's best for me and he knows if I believe in him, I will be successful.
Yeah, growing up even now.
Growing.
You see, you understand that you cannot achieve anything without God. Like I would say, a fish cannot survive out of water. None of us can survive out of God.
Ogbah's faith has been instilled in him since he was born, but he had to learn football after moving to Houston. His work ethic and determination helped him take to the sport quickly.
He started football a little bit later than a lot of other guys, and his family coming from Nigeria wasn't necessarily a common road for him, and yet he still has done so many great things.
It's really funny. You see, when we came over here, they used to play soccer back home in Nigeria, himself and his senior brother, you know. And when we came over here, they continued with the soccer, then he veered into basketball, and he was doing okay with that. So one day suddenly he came back and said, I want to play football. I said, what is that? Because we are not used to American football. He said, that's what they play. I said, no. That thing I see on television is so violent, you can't do that. You know, that's not a sport. My wife said, that's not a sport, that's fighting.
It's just, you know, my mom would say, come back home right after school, you're not going to practice. And I'll just sneak out and go anyway and try to come back like I didn't leave.
When he started, it's not like we have our reservations, let me put it that way, when he started. But along the line, we discovered that that's what he has passion for. So we gave our support, our blessings.
While at Bush High School, Ogbah learned the ins and outs of the game under former NFL linebacker Alan Aldridge.
I remember a tall kid coming in as a ninth grader, good-looking kid. He was kind of clumsy, you know, because he was growing so fast. I love that he was a blank canvas when he came in because it gave us a chance to tell him everything that we wanted, how we wanted it, and man, he did everything that we asked.
Coach Aldridge. Coach Aldridge was my head football coach, so he was a great coach, great guy, you know. He was in the league, so he won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, and you know, I aspired to win the Super Bowl too, so having him to kind of help me out too, because I kind of looked up to him, like I want to be in that position.
He was excited. I really didn't know what was going on. I just watched it. So he really liked it. He was excited, you know, jumping all over the place with those. I said, Emmanuel, is that how you're dressed? I said, yes.
There was this particular game we went to. At the game, it's like the commentator, number 38, Emmanuel Ogbah. Number 38, Emmanuel. I asked my wife, is he the only one in the field? You know? So somebody beside me was saying, he's a good player, he's a good player. I said, that's good. Actually, that was when somebody like me started the interest to know what football is all about.
I mean, he met all the expectations, but him developing as a player, seeing him from his 9th grade year to his 12th grade year, just unbelievable transformation. You're talking about coming in at 6'2", probably 180, leaving out at 6'4", he was about 245, 250, just a specimen, just leaving out.
I am happy because he's big for the position, right? He's big for it and he's healthy. So when I see him see what he does, I know he will succeed. even physically and mentally, he is okay for it.
You're getting a great guy. You're getting a great investment in a kid. And you want to talk about the character, you won't have any character issues, from Emmanuel. And he's proven that. But when you talk about giving a great guy, you're talking about the face of an organization. That's the kind of guy that you want. You want a guy that's proven in that aspect of it. And also, you're getting a great player.
I want him to be drafted in the top. So, and every parent will want, if to be drafted number 1 overall, my joy will be full. But all the same, anywhere where his destiny will be fulfilled. I put it that way, anywhere where his destiny will be fulfilled. That's where I want him to be drafted. We believe God is backing us up. So it doesn't matter if you think it's not right, but we know God is backing us up, so it's right.
It's really hard to say because Emmanuel in high school and Emmanuel now are two totally different people. Two totally different people. But what I've seen of Emmanuel right now, Emmanuel could do anything.
He's a man of principle, and he understands why he's on this earth. He understands something about his destiny. So he does not play with the destiny. So no matter the situation, no matter where he is, he will always be himself. Like I will tell all my children, remember the son or the daughter of whom you are.
Well, it all starts during the season, coming in August, getting information, character, background, talking to the coaches, trying to get a feel for what the player is. And then, of course, we watch film during the season. So during the season is really when we do our big analysis of the player, what type of player he is, what he can do for us as a football team. And then from there, really, the All-Star games, the Combine, the Pro Days are really just confirming on what the player is of what we've seen during the season.
Oh, it's nice being back in Stillwater. I'm used to this area. I've been here 4 years. I'm a guy that likes to compete. So if I see a competition where I can stand out, that's what I try to do best. I try to show out. That's who I am. So.
They're going to invest a lot of money in these guys, so they want to get their eyes and their hands on these guys and get a feel for what their investment, what it is. I kind of equate it to like buying a car. If you're an owner of a company or you own a football team, you're not going to buy a car without test driving it and looking at it. You're not going to go on somebody else's recommendations. So it's big for all the kids. It's kind of like, it's kind of your job interview, if you will, when you actually get in front of that potential employer.
The defensive end here at Oklahoma State definitely is the type of person with his size, his speed, his athletic ability, gives him a chance to get drafted at the next level. And so those are the prototype of guys you kind of are looking for at the next level. So you're really giving these guys their due to make sure these guys either they're going to fit in the NFL or not fit in the NFL. And I think that's what the pro days, the value of the pro days are.
Like Gino always used to say, sacks equal play.
So I told Emmanuel, here's one thing is your draft grade's not going to go down from the time you finish playing. It's only going to go up.
Ogbah worked with defensive coaches for the Jets, Buccaneers, and Raiders during another impressive display of athleticism at his pro day. Ogbah felt right at home using the same facilities that he practiced and trained in during his time at OSU.
I like to describe my position as a support person for the coaches and the entire football program. We normally hear the drama, if that's a good word, because there are some things that occur that we don't want to, but that's part of being a student, and sometimes that's part of the growing up process. To be somebody that's just not an athlete, that they're there for for probably the right reasons.
Well, Emmanuel's been a tremendous pupil for us. He's kind of one of your guys that really makes you feel good about what you do. But he was one of the hardest workers we ever had. Zero variance from day to day. Every day he brought his A game. He was probably just the perfect pupil, if you will, from all the things.
You want the guy that understands what hard work is. He's not perfect, and he didn't do every play perfectly, but he strived to be.
On 1st and 15, look out from behind. There's Ogbah, and he brings him down. Emmanuel Ogbah, almost impossible to block.
But the effort that he would give is something that we would hope that every player had. Well, he would express that to them. Again, you know, that for them to make it, you got to give the best effort. Our coaches, the coaches that recruited Emmanuel, they analyzed him as to what kind of person he was. Now, you make mistakes, but they didn't make a mistake on him. You know, he exhibits what you want when you talk to him.
Good. You hope to find those guys. Sometimes we don't hit on all of them, but one thing we knew with Emmanuel was the way he trained. The things that we do in our world, he was excellent at. He was extremely fast, powerful. All the things, those were only pluses for him, and the more he got to showcase that, the more it was probably going to raise his opportunity to get hopefully selected a little bit higher.
He understands the need to be responsible, and that's not only in the classroom, but that as a football player and a person. We appreciate those kinds. Emmanuel's not one of those guys that you're going to have to worry about doing the right things. He acts the way he acts because he has good guidance somewhere a long time ago. Oklahoma State football didn't change him. We want to help him, and we want to nurture that, but he has good genes, and good genes make good people. And obviously he's going to get a great opportunity to play at the next level, and Emmanuel knows, and again it goes back to character, but he wouldn't put himself in a situation that would, I think, be harmful for him in the long run. And certainly the next level recognizes when a young person has that type of character. The NFL saw that, and I'm not in that room, so now I'm really talking, right? But I'm not in that NFL interview room. But what was conveyed and is that he knocked it out of the park because he says the right things. But it's not just saying the right things, he lives those right things. And so, again, those young people don't realize the impact of what that, obviously athletically, he's got it. But the character, the person inside of him, you know, those teams want those guys in their locker room.
The second round of the 2016 NFL Draft is now open. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
With the 32nd pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Emmanuel Ogbah, defensive end, Oklahoma State.